It's June 19th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR today. In this show, Michael Saylor wants us to just be free. We want to 100x our MSTR conviction. You're going to want to read this. Also, a Bitcoin treasury company cheat sheet you're going to want to bookmark. Also, strategy scales digital capital. Period. End of story. Plus, I have some epic Michael Saylor video clips you're not going to want to miss. This video is not financial advice. Please do comment below. Let me know where you're watching from. I love seeing people comment around the world, so thank you for that. And let's dive on in. All right. Today's first post is from Michael Saylor, who just wants us to be free. And that is B with a capital Bitcoin B. What is that in the background? That backdrop looks really familiar. I think I might have been there before, but beautiful. Let's just be free, my friends. Let's just be free. And if you're concerned about MSTR right now, and I know some of you are, and you want to 100x your conviction, read this entire thing. And then this is just the link to the ultimate investment guide for strategy. It is amazing. I am very honored to be in the resources for this. Chris has MSTR today as a required viewing for all MSTR investors. So thank you for that. Much appreciated, Chris. And Chris also says, one for your bookmarks, the Bitcoin Treasury Company KPI cheat sheet, the main metrics you need to be tracking. So you're tracking total Bitcoin holdings. Well, let's be honest, MSTR is dominating that. The multiple of net asset value. Well, let's be honest, Metaplanet is now dominating that. The month to MNAV cover, Bitcoin yield, implied Bitcoin yield, Bitcoin per share, Bitcoin torque, and Bitcoin rating. So all these things are very important metrics. Here's a definition for them, and then here's the calculation for them. Another great cheat sheet from Chris. Thank you for that. I'll have it in the show notes below. Appreciate that. The Bitcoin therapist says there are actually people who are complaining about this chart and sold their stock. And the reason why I'm not complaining, by the way, is that I got in about right here, and I did write it down. I'm like, uh-oh, got in a little too early, and then the rocket ship took off, and then it dropped, and then it went back up, and here we are now. So listen, at the end of the day, I'm not missing this because this is coming on this side of things. We just don't know when, but I'm holding my conviction strong for sure. I mean, look at the chop that these individuals had to put up with. This is why Jeff and Adrian and all those individuals, MSTR True North, Tim and Mason and Soleil, I mean, they deserve so much credit because, listen, this was painful down here. I did not experience this because I just wasn't, unfortunately, aware of MSTR. So I missed this. I missed that. I missed that. I got in about there, took a little ride downwards and said, uh-oh, and then see you later, alligator. Chris says 1 in 100 no coiners understand Bitcoin. So only 1 out of 100 people understand Bitcoin that are no coiners. Only 1 in 100 Bitcoiners actually understand strategy. Think about how early you are. It's incredible. It's unbelievable. And all I have to say is congratulations. And Chris says Amazon scaled digital commerce. Apple scaled digital devices. Google scaled digital information. Facebook scaled digital relationships. Netflix scaled digital entertainment. Spotify scaled digital music. Strategy is scaling digital capital. Do you understand? Because of all these things that have been scaled, what is more important than digital capital? I believe nothing. I believe nothing. And now we have some epic video clips of Michael Saylor, so let's strap on in.
So about this possible winter, are you really not feeling the cold?
Look, if you're going to invest in Bitcoin, a short time horizon is 4 years, a mid-time horizon is 10 years. The right time horizon is forever. You know, Warren Buffett said, you know, if you wouldn't hold it for 10 years, you shouldn't hold it for 10 minutes. So if you look at the course of 4 years, no one's ever lost money over 4 years holding Bitcoin. And if you look at, you know, our experience, we started buying it at $10,000, and now it's up by a factor of 4. So given the right time horizon, you're fine. So it's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is it makes it the most exciting, interesting thing in the financial universe everywhere in the world. And the curse is it can induce anxiety for people that have a short attention span or are focused on a narrow time horizon. You buy Bitcoin, you hold it for more than 4 years, Joe. That's my advice to everybody.
For anyone, buy it and hold it for more than 4 years. And then you think eventually it takes how much, let's say it is digital gold, what percentage of gold's market cap does it finally?
Bitcoin's 0.1% of the capital in the world right now. I think it's going to go to 7% of the capital.
7%?
My long-term forecast is it's going to go to 13 million over 21 years.
13 million.
13 million, but what is it 5 years from now? In your 4-year calculus?
It's been growing 44% a year with about a 40 to 50 vol. I would think it'll move on at 40%, then click down to 35, then 30, then 25, and at some point it'll be the S&P return plus 8%, and it'll be the S&P vol plus 8% because it's always going to be a more global, open, free capital market. Bitcoin's an expression in this view that you want to invest in an asset without counterparty risk, which means you don't want to be counterparty to a country, a currency, a city, a company, a commodity, or a culture, right? So people think it's a risky thing. It's all about people wanting to not take risk. They don't want to guess whether Picasso's or real estate in New York or NVIDIA stock will be higher in 10 years. They want to buy money. They want to buy 1/21 millionth of all the money in the world. You ever try to carry a gold bar through an airport?
Very heavy.
Try it next time. They won't let you through, right? In fact, if you tried to carry $100,000 of gold through an airport, not only would you not get through, but the assumption would be you're a criminal, you stole the gold, and they would just take it and keep it without a court order. Now, try to carry $100,000 of cash through the airport. You ever try that? You can put it in a bag, and as you're walking through the X-ray machine, just nonchalantly say to the officer, yeah, I'm carrying $100,000 of money onto the airplane. You won't get through. Now, not only will you not get through, they'll just take your money. They'll just take it, and the assumption will be you stole it, okay? So cash is a unit of control. Now, put $100,000 in a bank and try to wire it to someone, or just take it out, and they're going to ask you why. Tell them it's none of their business. Try to send it to someone privately, to a numbered Swiss bank account, right? See how that works. That won't work. That's a system of control. Bitcoin is the one network you can't control. Nobody can control Bitcoin. So if you're insecure about being able to own your own money, do you own it? And can you actually use it without asking somebody's permission? Then the solution is not gold. It's not silver coins. It's not stacks of cash. It's not money in a bank in the U.S. It's certainly not money in a bank in Lebanon, Argentina, anywhere in Africa. The one network that you have that gives you a decent chance of owning your own money and then being able to spend it the way you want is Bitcoin.
Let's be real. If you've ever tried to invest, especially as a beginner, you've probably asked yourself, how do I even find good stocks? What should I buy or sell right now? And seriously, what the hell is going on with the market today? I ask myself those same questions all the time. And that's exactly why I started using Investing Pro, the powerful new platform from investing.com that helps you make smarter investing decisions without drowning in information overload. One of my favorite features, Warren AI. It's like ChatGPT on the stock market, but with real-time data-backed answers straight from investing.com's massive financial database. Want to know why NVIDIA dropped yesterday or why now is a good time to buy Tesla? Just ask. Warren AI gives you instant, up-to-date insights you can actually act on. I recently asked it where to invest $10,000 right now, and the list of stocks that returned, fire, full of actionable ideas I hadn't even considered. Bottom line, if you want to invest smarter, faster, and with more confidence, Investing Pro with Warren AI is a game changer. Check it out now at investing-referral.com/MSTR. Online shopping has never been easier, but this ease is new enough that we remember a time when entering all our credit card info every time we purchased something online was the norm. Luckily, we don't have to do that anymore thanks to Shopify. That's right. That purple Shop Pay button that makes it seamless to purchase online is powered by Shopify. And Shopify doesn't just make it easy to buy, it makes it incredibly easy to start a business no matter your experience. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and they make it super easy to get up and running with beautiful, ready-to-go templates and built-in marketing and email tools. Worried about tracking inventory, payments, and analytics? No stress. Shopify helps you manage it all from a single dashboard. And back to that iconic purple Shop Pay button, it's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/MSTR. Go to shopify.com/MSTR, shopify.com/MSTR.
The fantasy background was very important because in fantasy, there's this idea that if you know the name of a demon, you can summon them, you can control them. Names are very powerful. And when the internet hit, I was typing out Saylor at MicroStrategy.com in my email, and I thought, well, it'd be a lot better if I just typed out Saylor at Strategy.com. And I started thinking about domains, and it inspired me to go and buy up all the domains I could. So I bought Hope. How would you like to own Hope? Like, the nice thing about owning Hope
that was when? What year was that?
Between 94 and 98.
Right, so pretty early.
Pretty early on, and so I thought.
How many domain names do you think you bought?
I bought a bunch, but I bought about 30 of the classics. My idea was the most valuable thing in the is a constructive word in the English language that has a positive connotation that everyone understands, everybody can spell. So I bought Emma. I bought Michael, Michael.com. I bought Mike.com. I bought Hope. I bought Voice. I bought Angel. I bought Alarm. I bought Speaker.
How did you pick the words? I mean, you laid out some of the criteria.
I bought every good word that I could buy. It was a digital real estate gold rush.
Right.
If you would sell it to me, I would buy it. I figured, what did I think? I think if 1 billion people learn to speak English, I'll give you an example. 1 billion people learn to speak English. How many of them know how to spell strategy? How many of them have a positive impression of strategy? Now I name my company MicroStrategy. Let me tell you, for 30 years, half our customers mispronounced it, MicroStrategy's. Like, when you pick a word that's not in the English language, if you teach it to 3rd graders or 6th graders, the education system is burning the word. What does hope mean to you, right? That's different than naming a company Celebrelix. Celebrelix is not a word we can spell, and it's not a word that has a meaning, but hope, angel.
It's a pretty strange opportunity to be able to buy words, which is essentially what happened. Right?
And it happened in the internet era.
Yeah, right.
Now, if we go to mobile, my fascination was this idea that if software goes from the back office to the desk to my pocket, it goes from solid state to liquid state to vapor state. It's all around me. What happens when I can talk to it? What happens when it can talk back to me? Well, now you have to have an imagination. Science fiction, it's valuable because it says if you learn science and engineering, you can figure out like what's the optimal way to get to Mars from the U.S. You start to understand gravity wells. You start to understand physics. That's very important for one part of the story. But the other part of the story is fantasy. I'm creating something in cyberspace. I'm an engineer, and I can imagine throwing a baseball in orbit. And if I throw it fast enough, it stays in orbit. And if I throw it harder, it breaks Earth's gravity field and orbits the sun. And if I throw it harder, it breaks the sun's gravitational field and it spins off into, Milky Way. Well, that's what science fiction or engineering teaches you. Fantasy teaches you I can throw the baseball and will it to be a flock of seagulls that land on my head and turn into a pot of gold because
so
they
those
like
are
me.
Those are little paradigm revolutions in that fantasy.
Because
they're frame breaking.
The significance is in the hardware world, you're subject to thermodynamics and physics, and you better know it. But in cyberspace, you could imagine you're not subject to thermodynamics and physics. So you could imagine, I look at mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, right? And Snow White gave you the answer, right? Because, when that happens in a fairy tale, the mirror talks back to you, it comes to life, and eventually we got to, Zoom and video, and pretty soon your iPad became a magic mirror, and pretty soon you could talk to, a relative of yours 8,000 miles away, and that was pretty magical. But then when you put the AI behind it and the AI generates an AI image, you're not talking to a person, you're talking to an angel or a demon.
And there you have it, another episode of MSTR today. Here's my receipt from yesterday. I have a 0.567 share purchase of MSTR. I filled that at $371 with my $210 daily purchase of MSTR every trading day of 2025. I will not stop. I will not fail in this mission. Let's go. And I will be revealing the entire DCA portfolio this coming Sunday. So tune in for that. And then also it's HODL the line. We're just 11 days away. And a reminder, I'm going to be holding a live stream on June 30th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, because at 8 p.m. Eastern, that's the official time, Q2 will lock in. Bitcoin's price will be locked in. And if we're above 94,000-ish, that's the latest from Jeff. So I'm actually going to start saying 95,000 just because we want that little buffer. And I'll update this graphic at some point here. If we're above 95,000, strategy will have a positive sum earnings in the last 4 quarters, qualifying us for the S&P 500. And we're going to get there. It's inevitable. And you know that I believe that, inevitable with a capital B. And you are the average, my friends, of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose those people wisely. Thank you for choosing me as one of those 5 for this 15 minutes. Because listen, I know there's a lot of FUD out there from people that are shorting Bitcoin treasury companies or shorting Michael Saylor like Chanos and others. Listen, the FUD's out there. These people are trying to pump their own bags. There's a lot of people that are pumping other Bitcoin treasury companies. I wish them the best. I just am decided that I am letting Michael Saylor cook. I believe in him. I trust in him. I've been through a huge break to the upside with strategy before. I won't miss being here on this train for the next one, because like Michael Saylor says, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.